Welcome, everybody, to the podcast. Today, we're inviting Alan Warkentin, CEO of Cave Integration, and Dave Wick, IT Director of the same company. So, what? Hello, everyone. How's it going?
We're good.
Very good.
How you doing, Maxine?
There you go. So, for listeners, what your business is, why did you create it, what do you guys do in general?
Well, I think that's a long story actually, but let me give you like the Coles Notes version. Um, Started this about 27 years ago now, and it started as simply working within, I guess, cable would be the easiest way to do it, cable and satellite. And over the years, it just morphed into something completely different as we saw sort of trends in technology moving forward. um, More and more offerings were sort of bolted onto the base offerings of the cable and satellite. And and then when Dave came around, there was a really strong offering for IT in there as well, networking, and then Wi-Fi has become what it's become over the years. So yeah, basically all around tech integration at this point. Um, pretty cool, pretty cool stuff so far.
And what is your roles into the business? I know you're CEO. Do you just make decision, or you still go on the field? Do you still do manual stuff? What's your
Oh,
role in the business?
yeah, I'm still in the field. So at my desk, in the field, everything in between, all of it. Like it seems like there's more and more hats to wear every day.
Hmm.
Um, but I still enjoy it. I do enjoy operating tools still at this point, although I'll be honest, I'm sort of fading away from that. And I'd rather spend more of my time working on proposals and dealing with
Okay,
clients.
absolutely. And what about you, Dave? What's your role in the business as the IT director?
I do the basically anything to do with networking because, as Alice said, it's pretty impossible to do
Mhm.
AV now without touching networking. It's very, very
Absolutely.
integrated. And also programming, there's quite a programming side to it now. And that every manufacturer seems to have their own different way of programming things. And really, that's pretty much where the integration of cave integration is coming from, Al. I guess you'll agree.
Yeah.
There, it's making everything work together, and that really is now. It's IT, it's networking, it's Wi-Fi, it's we're not too tied down to a single area now. So we actually touch,
Mhm.
as Al said, touch lots of different things.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, we would span across, we don't do a lot of satellite stuff anymore, but there is the odd one for somebody out in a rural area where it still happens. There's a case to go out there and help support in that arena. But mostly, as Dave was saying, it is the integration of technology. So whether it's, as an example, let's say it's a rural guy and we get out there and we realize that, he's stuck on some really slow internet service provider and he's struggling to operate, whether it's a farmer or whatever it may be, whatever business he's running out there, then we can offer all sorts of solutions for him. I'll use Starlink as an example because it's a great
mhm.
solution for rural clients to have high-speed internet. So we can go out there with the intent of helping him with maybe TV service, and then there's an offering of high-speed internet, and then perhaps he's got some sprawling bungalow and the Wi-Fi isn't going to quite work, and they've got a bunch of kids running around, and well, there's privacy concerns or security concerns. So now we're looking at cameras and a network, and maybe they've got a bunch of speakers that were wired into their home and they've never actually used them and don't know how to. So now we're looking at distributed audio as well. So there's just so many opportunities to service people no matter what we do.
Mhm. And would you say, because that's more of a B2C example, do you guys do B2B too?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. The,
Okay.
the business side is really kind of unique as well. I think there's more automation still in business than in the residential side. It's funny you actually bring that up, Maxime, because Dave and I were having a conversation about this yesterday. And some of the people that we do business with in the States, some of the manufacturers, they they don't believe there's a pathway forward for automation in homes as it has been the traditional way of
Hmm.
So we come in, we program everything out from lighting to TVs to sound. And the reason being is the applications that are now, available through, say, Google or Amazon are quite good. And you can just use those. You don't need to have a fancy app programmed up to do any of this stuff. It comes out of the box with it. However, on the business side, if you walk into a boardroom and you want the lights to go on, well, there should be a tablet there on the wall or on the table, and you can just press on or start, and it fires the projector or the monitor or monitors, lights up everything. Everything's ready to go. So you just come in, you have one touch, and your meeting is live. So yeah, business to business for sure.
Yeah, I'd say business to business, it probably needs to be super easy to use. As my experience in the military with officers, you'd set up everything and then they click another button and boom, everything exploded, doesn't work anymore. So it's like really baby, just do it like this and it's going to be easy.
Yeah, I think easy is the way to go. I don't know if you guys remember the easy button commercials that Staples had way back when, but honestly, I mean, that's always stuck in the back of my mind. If you can literally just hit one button and everything turns on, I mean, that's a game changer for most people.
Absolutely. And what you just talked about, the major shift in the trend of the industry. What are those kind of trends that change in the AV space? Probably, Dave, you probably could say in the last 10 years, maybe even 5. What did you guys saw really change in technology or maybe even demand-wise?
Yeah, maybe Dave, if you want to address that there.
Okay, I mean, yes, as Al said, one of the big changes is the likes of Google and Amazon having the automation and actually having it easy enough so that not quite just works, because we know the world is not quite like that, but basically ease of use and actually having standards. And okay, there's more than one standard, but actually having it so that it's the entry point for the home is much easier than it ever has been. So, it's not as if now you have to read a 100-page manual to get your TV integrated with your Blu-ray player. It just works.
Mm-hmm.
And basically things like that to say, sort of the entry into using high technology for home users has never been easier. But all it does then is just increase the bar to say now, for instance, now people want more, of course. So for instance, they have security cameras, but they want to be able to view their security cameras on their phone. Well, less than 10 years ago, or even 8 years ago, that wasn't a thing, but now it is. And then using the cloud effectively and being able to, for instance, view the cameras on your TV. Well, that's not much of an issue anymore. But, less than 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, it was. So basically the things you can do now and how you can integrate your home, really, I suppose it's what the phrase smart home actually means. So,
and how,
that.
Go ahead.
No, you carry on.
And how did you guys stay on the cutting edge of those technology? Do you just see it from the demand of the clients and then you just adjust to it, or you just always keep learning on what's new and what's coming in and trying it as the new demand? Or
always be learning. But we both spend, I think I estimated it, probably a day and a half of my own time a week learning, keeping up with trends, trying to see things. You try and catch things early so that you can get your knowledge together. And and obviously the big thing right now is the likes of AI and what it's useful for, what it's not useful for. But that's changing almost day to day now. So the pace of change of technology now is huge. There can be, in 3 months' time, there can be something totally new that will totally upend things. Not just in AV, but in lots of. Again, it's the ease thing now. I mean, one of the big trends as well that I do it myself, and I'm sure Al does too, and I'm sure you do it too, is we speak to things. And again, it's like, even 8 years ago, if I was to say, hey, Maxine, did you know that you can, oh yeah, if you want your lights on, just ask for them to be turned on. And like, no, that's Star Trek. That doesn't happen. Or if
Yeah.
it does, it's really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But now we take it for granted. It just works, doesn't it? And you have your macro, you have your good morning, and you say your good morning, and the coffee maker turns on, and the TV's on the right channel, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's really been the big change. And I mean, within the business side as well, there's been a change there as well, in that integration is now possible, and the price point is getting more sensible now, isn't it? Maybe you can talk to that a bit.
Yeah, I think that's a big bonus for everybody and I think we see that across every industry as technology develops and becomes, I guess, more accessible. The price drops, and that makes it even more accessible at that point. Um, Speaking of talking to devices, I sometimes feel like a bit of a fool talking to Google, as I did today. And there I was having a bit of an argument with Google about that's the wrong light that you turned on. So it's not perfect, but it's a heck of a lot better than it was even last year. And I always think back for those of us that were, are old enough to remember the original Star Trek. Think about where technology has come to now as it relates to even AI. I mean, they had what was like a little flip phone, right? And beam me up. And then flip phones became a thing. What was that, 20 years ago or something? I remember the first Motorola flip phone that I had, and I thought, this is the greatest thing ever. Holy geez. Prior to that, they were in a suitcase with a cord on them, right? And then there was the big brick phone, and then the flip phone. And then, 20 years ago, or maybe that was even 30 years ago, then 20 years ago, you could get an image. I remember the first Samsung flip phone I had, and I got a text message, and it was an image. And I thought, holy cow, this is crazy. And now, through AI, you can adjust that image and make it into a whole new image. You can remove items of the image. I mean, sky's the limit, guys. Sky's the limit with this AI. It's absolutely mind blowing to me. I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to see where it goes.
And do you see AI being able to help the AI industry, the AV industry, sorry, into implementing it into something like take note takers for meetings or anything? Is there a demand for that right now, or not yet there?
I mean, I haven't realized a demand from any business clients for that yet. And if
Okay.
there is, it's outside of
Hmm.
what we would be doing. I think that's more of an
Mm,
internal issue for the companies to
mm,
make decisions around. What I would say though is that I hear a lot of people talking about basic automation and
yeah.
how that can be, again, the one-touch solution, right? So I guess my mind wanders a little bit on that, and I think, well, would there be a case for AI to sort of streamline in the background and sort
Mm,
of learn as it goes? So that's sort of where I'm sort of looking beyond to see, is it going to be, I mean, you've heard the term machine learning, but would this be something that if an automation system has AI built into it, would it be able to learn to some degree about the environment around it? And I guess we already
mm.
have these situations like for adjusting temperature and whatnot. And speaking of temperature, it is hot in here, by the way. If I had some AI that could turn the temperature down right now, I would be asking it to do it. I don't though, sadly. So that's sort of where my mind wanders with that. I really am excited to see just how much learning can be done in the background by the AI itself and what that's going to look like. That I'm really impressed with the idea of that.
Great. So, is there anything that working good for the cave integration right now as the business, whether operation, client relationship, technology adoptions? Is there something that goes above and beyond from you guys?
I think as far as AI is concerned, yeah, I think I touched on this briefly earlier, but the process by which we put proposals together has been streamlined, incredibly so. What used to take a day to set up sort of a template to work with can be done in a couple of hours now. And the big benefit that I see to it, as I'm the one sitting here doing them, is that if the client has concerns about, say, a device, and they've got an idea for another device, so they want to add it in or swap it out, I can really easily just create a quick prompt and substitute it within that template. And the template, I mean, once you've got a nice template, you don't want to lose it. It's really, it can be very time consuming to create these so that they look correct and they have the right flow and you've got a proper table of contents and whatnot. So to just add it in and say, substitute this with this, and you just give it the name, the quantity, and the price, and within 2 minutes, you've got that PDF created, and you can send it off. I haven't quite, but I'm almost there. What I'm going to do is create an agent that once the change has been done, it will automatically send out the PDF to the client. So I don't have to then attach it to the email. So, I mean, that's really exciting for me too. Any step along the way that I can remove where I have to manually do something is a time saver. And also it's not a big stress, but if you think about stresses over the day in your dealings in business, if you can remove, say, 10 small stress points, it's massive over the week. You've got your time back. And I think we'd all agree that it's all we really have is our time, and it's very, very precious. So if we can gain some of it back to have, say, more fulsome conversations with a client, or whether you're taking a moment out of your day at work to have a conversation with a family member or a friend, this is huge for me anyways. So on the business side, like I said, the automation of proposals is amazing. And then we were talking about CRMs earlier and how that kind of builds into those as well. This is something that I'm looking at as well as using the AI to integrate it into the CRM to such a degree that, and we do already, actually, let me talk about this for just a moment. If you phone in and the phone doesn't get answered, we have an AI agent, and it's not a really crappy one. Like, I don't want to drop names of big telecom companies, but there's one that's based in Alberta, and it's AI. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's such a point of frustration trying to phone and talk to them. Anyway, I went to some length to make sure that it was functional to the degree that if you knew enough, you'd know that you weren't talking to a human. But if you didn't know at all, you'd actually think that this was just very a kind and attentive individual that you were talking to. And so again, that takes the need for somebody dedicated to answering a phone, just takes it away. And if you can get the conversation to flow correctly with an AI agent, it's a game changer as well. And all of that is tracked and recorded so that if you need to go back to that conversation and parse out a section of it to make sure that you're having an educated conversation after the fact, you can do this. It's very, very simple to do. So I'm super happy about that stuff too, and excited.
So from what I understand is you got an AI voice agent that inbound calls answers, and you have an AI engine that does your proposal, that helps for your proposal. Did you try any other AI experiment in your business that maybe didn't work or that you're thinking about going and implement in your business?
Actually, I think Dave might be able to talk about this. Let me just lead it up for you, Dave. We really like Ubiquity for our networking and Wi-Fi and camera solutions. And a few years back, they came out with an AI, and it was pretty cool. You could use the app on your phone and just sort of hover it across the switch. And you take it from there, Dave. I'm going to let you talk about that. That's kind of your wheelhouse, not mine.
Yeah. So, I mean, the really useful for administration, as Al said. So I hold my phone up to a network switch, and it actually does. It shows me the switch and actually has an overlay, and with colors and text, it literally tells me what is plugged into each port. So if I'm trying to find a problem port, it highlights it for me. So, so that can save hours of, trying to track down a poorly documented system, where now it adds in the information itself. So I can tell, different network speeds, or I can see whether a port is in trouble. It actually is on it's AR, so it's
Augmented reality.
augmented reality. So I can just go across a network switch and it highlights for me, abnormal behavior. That saves hours of work. So I can, and as Al said, that's been around for several years. So, but there are some new things as well in the networking side. That's, again, as Al said, we're very much a ubiquity house, where they've got this new thing now called channel AI. And what it does is, some of my customers have like 45 access points. So getting all the channeling, setting on the right channel so you don't get interference, not only from yourself, but from all the buildings around you, basically takes days, or should take days. Now this has been cut down to less than an hour.
Wow. Yeah.
And it gives me, it's not 100% of the way there, but you're 95% of the way there. So from the customer's perspective, these guys came in and they fixed my network. It's Absolutely. A big deal.
And perhaps, Dave, it might be a good time to maybe talk about as well the AI and some of the security cameras that Ubiquity's offering as well, because this is pretty cool what we can do with those.
Yeah, I mean, so now in cameras, that's one of the other big changes that's happened now. That now quite modest cameras. So compared to AI, it's been around in some form or another in cameras for a long time. But you're talking about $2,500, $3,000 cameras. Now, in like a $300 or $400 camera, you have that same functionality. So, for instance, you can do things like it does facial recognition. It reads license plates. And now, literally on a modest camera, so an under $500 camera, I can say, show me all the red cars. And it understands, and it filters it all for me. So you record all the time, and then you literally say, or you can say, whenever a red SUV comes into my parking lot, send me an alert, and it'll do that. Yeah. So and on the funny side as well, they have animal detection. So some actually like seeing when they get wildlife in their garden. It sends them an alert, and they can watch the deer walking around. But the entry point for this now, and again, it's just easy. And it used to be, well, a lot of work out, didn't it, to actually set this up, and it was thousands of dollars. But now the entry point to that is very, very low. And now pretty much every system we put in now has this. It just comes pretty much as standard.
Wow. I didn't even know about that. That's really, really impressive to even know that your camera can recognize all that. And then in the data that it takes, it just goes at the time you want or you need, and then just gives you all the images from it.
Yes. Wow. So I mean, so now, for instance, on ubiquitous higher end cameras, you can literally say, it was a red Toyota.
Yeah.
And then it will find all the red Toyotas, and then you can see, wow. He's been here 3 times in the last week, or So again, it's just stunning. And the other nice thing is because it's AI, you can actually tell it what you want. You can just type a prompt. Show me red Toyotas on Friday mornings.
Yeah,
and it'll do it. It understands.
Wow. That brings up the it is, but it's so simple now that we have the technology. But thinking about that 5 years ago, it's like it's out of this world basically. So that's just amazing. And do clients know about those kind of cameras and ask for it more since it's way more security for them, or you just bring it up and they're just like mind blown from it?
I think we've just been bringing it up for them. There are some instances I guess there are some instances where business owners that are in an industry where security is a big issue for them. They're going to have, an idea of what's going on. Smaller businesses, they're just happy that we know.
Yeah.
The average user at home doesn't have. I mean, I'll give you an example. We're working on a proposal for a gentleman who's just south of the city of Calgary here, and he's got a large property there and a bunch of kids and just beautiful family. And his concern was, I want to be able to, if we're in the home and the kids are out in the back playing or in the front, or if they've got a bunch of the neighborhood kids over, they want to be able to monitor, say somebody is injured. They want to be able to pull it up on their phone or on a tablet, wherever they are in the home, and be able to search quickly to find out what happened when it happened. And then get out there and obviously help the child. So I was talking to him about, some of the AI features, and he thought, wow, this is fantastic. Like I can search by faces. So yeah, you can do that. He goes, yeah, just do it. Like, yeah, get it done. And so just something so simple like that may not have been a concern that people even were aware of is now a concern, because now they're aware. Well, yeah, I want that. So it's kind of funny how human beings, we hear about something new and we kind of want that.
Always.
It's just the way we are, I suppose.
And for those clients, let's say B2C or B2B, how do you guys reach out to them? Is it do you just do organic, or what's your way to reach to those clients?
Well, we do some Google advertising. Obviously, if you want to advertise, I think Google's probably the best spot to do it. This is business to business stuff, and business to the consumer as well. I don't think I've separated those two. It's just put it out there and come what may. We've done or doing some TV segments as well, which is pretty exciting. We'll see how that parses out. And word of mouth, of course. If I'm on a job site, I'm constantly, and it's not like I'm some weird sales guy out there, but I love what I do, and I love the technology. I like talking about it. And so I end up having conversations with people. And if we take a moment to go for coffee and we're in some high rise downtown and somebody asks, well, what are you guys doing? I'm more than happy to have that conversation and then try to make a contact there as well. So organic is really fun because you're literally in front of a stranger meeting them. And I really like that. I think that random conversations are pretty cool. But yeah, the advertising is Google Ads. And then, like I said, we do a little bit of TV stuff as well.
Nice. And looking ahead for the next 6 to 12 months, what does it look like for Cave Integration in the future? What's the goals, growth?
The next 12 months, I think there's, in my mind, I've got an expansion that I'd like to do north of Calgary up into Edmonton. And then in the next 2 years, I'll just put it out a little bit into British Columbia as well. I would really like to focus on the boardroom space, corporate space, meeting rooms, boardrooms, that sort of thing. Dave and I have talked about this extensively as well, that there is a very simple solution that I think we can turn around proposals and get started on installations within 2 weeks. And typically what we see here anyways in this area is a 10-week turnaround. So if we can capture some of that market based on just the speed of access to the technology, then I think that is where my mind is at right now. And I would be focused on energy firms and law firms.
And is it, you still got to do that with SEOs directly to reach them?
Sorry, say that again, Maxime?
You still got to do that with SEO or marketing-wise referrals? How you going to reach them?
Yeah. Oh, that's something. Thank you for bringing up the SEO. That's another major part of the marketing is SEO. I can't believe I forgot about that. I mean, it works so well. It's in the background, and I remember when I set up the account with the firm that's taking care of it. They said, "Well, how often do you want to be updated?" And I thought about that, and immediately I'm like, "Well, daily. Tell me daily." And I thought, "No, that's ridiculous. I don't want to know that." I mean, that's too small of a time. And then I thought, well, maybe weekly. And then I thought, no, maybe monthly. And I thought, no, maybe quarterly. And I said, you know what, just let me know at the end of the year how we did. And so they do send monthly updates actually, and I'll look through them. And every month it's an increase on all levels, whether it's the keywords or the key phrases, pages in what pages are ranking in Google. It's constantly moving towards better and better and better. I'm not going to say the firm, but they are absolutely fantastic. Their price point is amazing. We couldn't find anybody local that could do what they do in the time frame for the cost that they do at. And honestly, if I'm 100% honest about it, I think the SEO is the biggest win in marketing. And I think a lot of people just don't understand it. And therefore they kind of shy away from it. And I didn't understand it either until they explained the importance of it. And then I was all in. I thought, what does it cost for a year, for 12 months of this? And how do, I'll just find the money. I'll budget it somehow. So that's what we did. And it's been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing. There was times where we weren't actually running Google ads at all. And there's just a ton of organic traffic coming in as a result of the SEO. People searching for whatever it is. Say it's security cameras or networking or Wi-Fi or home theater, whatever they're looking for. And because these guys are so good at ranking, we just show up. So it's amazing.
Absolutely. And if there's one major challenge that you guys would like to cut out from the industry, what would that be for you guys? Only one. One for both. Yeah, there you go.
Well, I guess one of the challenges, again, it's one of those things that a challenge can be a blessing at the same time, is because of AI, etc. You can ask questions now. So generally, the level of education is improving because you can ask questions and get answers. But that's only good if the answers are good.
Yes.
Sometimes they're not. AI isn't perfect. I think the phrase is hallucination. It always wants to give an answer, so it can actually give an incorrect answer. So having a customer say, "But the AI said you could do this," and then having to explain, "Well, actually, it was wrong. It isn't." So again, it's a plus and a minus. It's anything that can increase a customer's knowledge is good, but as long as it's right.
You still need the expertise. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm laughing here because I'm thinking back to a client, Dave, that we were doing some access control for. And he was dead set. He thought he was right. He said, my research tells me this. And the research was done through AI. And Dave and I were talking about it. And I'm like, Dave, I don't think he's right. Dave's like, he's not right. He's totally wrong. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So yeah, I would just reiterate what Dave says. You really you can trust, but you must verify.
Absolutely.
For the most part, it's really good, or it's getting to be really good. It does make mistakes, and you cannot replace human beings, at least not yet. That's kind of scary. But you can't replace us. Our brains function the way they function for a reason. I don't know about you guys. Well, I'm pretty sure you guys are the same. It's a logical thing for me. Does it make sense? And if it doesn't, let's figure out why it doesn't, and then try to make sense of it. So
absolutely. And I can even connect on that a little bit from the fitness that I did. You can see people come in with plans, and you're like, "This is so bad. This is so basic." You have to know what you want to do, and you have to flip it because it's like, "Oh, I did it with AI," and you're just like, "It's not it. It's not good at all." So I can see the expertise coming in. It's always more of a tool than the major decision maker. Could say it like that.
Yeah, and also to touch on that, to use the fitness model as an example, everybody is different, and everybody's body is different, and responds differently to certain stimuli. As an example, I could take caffeine and be anxious. You could take caffeine and go to sleep. My mother does that. I think Dave can do that too. It's crazy. I
Yes.
can't do that. But somebody that goes in and wants to train, say, heavy weights, but they're just trying to get stronger, maybe this is not the best thing for you. There's a little bit of trial and error. You have to go through that process to actually get to the point where you have some understanding of the situation, and then you can make a plan that actually makes sense. So it's the same thing with AI. You got to understand it, you got to play with it, and then sort of tweak it so that it works for you.
Absolutely. So that's going to be it for today's podcast. Really like your time, really like your expertise and your mindset. Is there anywhere that people can come and talk to you, send you a message, or be in contact with you?
Oh yeah, they can go to caveintegration.ca, and there's forms on every single page there. We make it really easy for people to get in touch. There's phone numbers all over the website as well. So that would be my suggestion, caveintegration.ca.
Perfect. So that's going to be it for the podcast. Dave and Al, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Maxime. Pleasure.